Welcome to the latest episode of the Live It Full podcast. It's Thursday, which means it's time for Thursday Thoughts with Richard. It's a day I usually spend alone in the studio, and I talk about something that has hit me this week or that is relevant in current affairs in the world. And so I shared something on Facebook early this morning. Caitlin is out of town, and I had to get all the kids ready by myself, or three of them anyways. And so I was actually out the door quite a bit early. So I had a little bit of time to reflect this morning about this topic. It's something that I had shared on Facebook a year ago. It actually popped up in my memories. It's something I do every day as I go back and look at my memories and see what I was going through a year ago or 2 years ago or 5 or 10 years ago. And the good thing is I still see a consistent stream of me putting out positive things and trying to help people. A little snarky every once in a while, but nothing's changed over the last 10 years. Who I am now is who I was then as far as that goes. Obviously, we've grown a lot. But I wanted to say, I shared something. I'm just going to read it verbatim. It says, marriage is hard. Divorce is hard. Choose your hard. Obesity is hard. Being fit is hard. Choose your hard. Being in debt is hard. Being financially disciplined is hard. Choose your hard. Communication is hard. Not communicating is hard. Choose your hard. Life will never be easy. It will always be hard, but we can choose our hard. Pick wisely. And so I'm going to go through that just to dissect it a little bit. It makes me think of a Mark Manson book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F, or not having explicit warning on this one. It's a great book. Sometimes the title scares people away. However, I think that it's probably one of the better written books I've read in a long time, because I don't always agree with Mark Manson on everything, but I do agree with the fact that life's going to be hard. So you need to choose what's going to benefit you the most. And what I would say is, and not even, it says marriage is hard and divorce is hard. And I'm going to have somebody hit me in my DMs and be like, well, you want me to stay in a bad marriage? No, I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is relationships are hard, whether it is a romantic relationship, an employer-employee, a husband, wife, well, I guess that's your romantic one, but your father, son, mother, daughter, all your relationships. Relationships are hard. But guess what's hard too? Not having any relationships. So you have to choose what you're willing to sacrifice for. And that's what Mark talks a lot about in the book, that everything's a trade-off, and you're always going to make sacrifices, and you're always going to have obstacles to overcome. You better choose the ones that you are super passionate about, and you have to quit giving an F about the rest of them. That's what that book's about. But I want to talk about this. So one part of it that sticks out to me is both of those things, the dichotomy of being fit or being obese, or just say out of shape, those are both hard things. Now, where the hard comes in, though, to me, same thing in relationships, same thing it goes through being financially disciplined, being in debt, communicating, not communicating. The thing is, while you're in the process, which I don't think you ever get out of them completely, but let's say when you're trying to get out of debt and be financially fit, the process is hard. The results are worthwhile. Whereas the other side of that is the results are hard. The process is easy, right? And so the process of getting into debt, or having a bad relationship, or not communicating, those things are pretty easy. You can do them, not hard. But the results that you get make your life very difficult, and they last a long time. It's really easy to spend $5,000. It's harder to pay it back. Promise, I've been there. So what I'm going to tell you is, even though the process is hard, on the flip side, the results are easier. They better your life, and they last longer. So basically, it's that whole concept of, am I giving up on this side to gain here, short-term gratification or instant gratification versus delayed gratification, or am I taking the easy now? The easy now will cost you much, much more in the long run, because everything we do has a compound interest effect, good or bad. It's taken me a long time to learn that, but everything we do, good or bad, has a compound interest effect. And for those of you that don't know what I mean by compound interest effect, I'll give you a good example, or give you kind of the easy example I can think of. In the book Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, he talks about, if I offered you $1 million right now, or I'm going to give you a penny, but it doubles in value every day for 30 days, which would you take? Now, if you do the math, you'll figure out pretty quick that the penny doubling every day leads to much, much more money in the long run. You start out at 2 cents, then 4 cents, and 8 cents. So it doesn't seem like it's ever going to get there. But day 16, 17, you start seeing some strides. Day 20, 22, you see some big strides. And by the end, all of a sudden, you've got like, I'm not going to do the math, so somebody can do it for me, because I don't want to stop the podcast and have to pull out a spreadsheet. But you end up with like $34 million versus the million. But most people in that same situation will take the million today. That's the concept of compound interest. Everything we do in our life is going to generate a return, positive or negative. And over time, it's going to compound. It's not that hamburger that you eat today that gives you heart disease. It's the hamburger you ate 3 times a week for 20 years that gave you heart disease. But yet we still do it. But it's that same thing of, if I put a little bit of money in when I'm 20, it adds up to a lot more than if I put a lot of money in when I'm 40. Over the same amount, over that first 20 years is magical in the investing process when you talk about that. Time is what makes people wealthy in that sense. So with compound interest, so everything we do is compounded over time. So when you choose the easy route up front, you will not have the equivalent hard later. You're going to have compounded hard. It's going to be much exponentially harder because of the choices you made now. So, but here's my thing. It's never too late to start. It's always too late to wait. So if you're having struggles with those things right now, today make a decision that you're going to change it, because you know going forward those things are going to compound. And it's much better to choose your hard now than have it be chosen for you later. If you like what you're hearing, I hope you liked Thursday Thoughts with me. Give us a 5-star review on Apple. Go in, leave us a nice review on there. Also, find us on TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Live It Full, at The Real Live It Full, Instagram as well. Share us with your friends. Take a screenshot of this, share it on your stories, tag us. We will give you a shout out. If you have any questions, feel free to hit us up in the comments or in a DM. Caitlin and I are always happy to answer any questions that we have. And I hope that you have a great remainder of your week. But always remember, choose your hard. Today is the day that you can make that change. Live it full, guys.